Welcome to the Maid Cafe, where we serve great big cakes and full course meals and stuff like that. I don't know what I'm saying. This is Keyaki Hobby's Ranran, a 1/12 furry action figure from their Seductive Beasts Fruit series. Of course, she is a panda girl and comes with a great big bunch of reasons to get her. And also, she has some very creative aspects which make her feel that much more special. So let's take a detailed look at her and see what she's all about. I got Ranran and the first Keyaki girl Shion Moriyuki from Bombasby. If you want to grab some cool figures and stuff, I'll have their site linked below. The box is pretty big, feels kind of premium, although, is she really? It kind of rattles and feels pretty light and empty. A cool thing is that it does open up like a book or a menu, because she is a maid. Getting her out, there are a few trays. There's her main stuff, stand stuff, and here she is. Her overall design is pretty monochrome, cause that's what pandas look like. The head is nicely done though. Hair sculpting is detailed, and there is some light shading and gradient towards the tips of the hair. The face is nicely painted, super cute. And she does have some cutesy little accessories like ribbons and her maid headdress thing and ears, I guess. Very nice, thick sculpting. Not much body on the details. Details on the body, but the material kind of makes up for it. She has a little panda tail and a whole damn bakery. The black parts on her are kind of velvety or flocked material. The white parts, still don't really know what they are, to be honest. It feels super smooth, probably because it's some sort of special paint or coating. It is pretty cool though and gives her a very premium feel. Her hands and feet do have little paw pads. The hands in particular are pretty cool, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And she is able to change her outfit a little bit as well. Overall, she is super cute. I would say looks better than the promo shots. And she feels pretty substantial and premium as well. Do let me know what you think of Ranran the Panda so far. By the way, we have a new playlist, full of furries if you're into that. And also Discord via YouTube membership or Patreon, linked down below. For articulation, head turns. Just gotta be careful of her two dangly side hair here. And her ears apparently. So the hair is quite a thin strand there, so I would be careful with it. Her back hair is articulated, so it can move up and down. Rotate a tiny bit. So there are 3 strands. Moving them out of the way, she can rotate to the side. Once again, just be careful of the side hair there. And the ear. It's over there. So I think there is a reason for why the ears are a little bit loose, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. God damn. Okay, so you just gotta make sure it's plugged in properly. Okay, otherwise, head, she can nod. It's not too bad, I think, but nothing crazy, even with the articulated back hair, because I guess this part will just get in the way, won't it? But she can look down that much. Look up about that much. Head tilts aren't really existent unless you kind of move that joint there, which I'm not bothered to do. So she can't really tilt her head unless you move that joint left and right. Otherwise, ears do not move, but they can be removed. These bits, they don't move either. They are soft plastic, but just be careful with them. Not sure how sturdy they would be. So that's about it for the head. Arms raise up to the side, raise up all the way like that. Can of course rotate up as well. So her little maid dress top thing, I don't know if you would call that a top, will get in the way a little bit there. But otherwise she can reach forwards, not a lot. So actually you can take this part off as well, and we'll figure out how to do that in a little bit. So she can't really reach forwards, because that is a hard plastic, so it'll get in the way. Going backwards, same deal, not too much. And then, so there we go, bicep rotation. She does have double elbows, which bend that much, so Not really all the way, but she does kind of have thick arms, so that is somewhat forgiven. Otherwise, wrist rotation movement is fine, nothing really gets in the way of that. For torso movement, just be careful of where you grab. So she can rotate, pretty much rotate all the way around, so that's good. Although it does seem like she can pop off, it's just a really long joint in there. So just be careful of that. Tilts, a little bit of tilts, about that much. And then forwards, not a lot. Backwards, a bit more, alright, so backwards bend, there'll be a bit of a gap at the front. Forward bend, it doesn't really bend forwards too much, so about that much. Her tail can rotate too, although it doesn't really matter depending on which one you have attached. So there is a tail with a hole for the stand, and there is one without a hole as well. Legs will raise up not a lot, so about 90 degrees, both legs. Of course you can rotate it all the way up if you want, like that. So that is a bit better. Forwards and backwards kick. Forwards kick. Backwards kick, and then pops off. So she is kind of a thick girly, so you'll have to be careful of the angles and stuff. If you push them, then they will pop off. But otherwise, if you rotate her legs like that, she can kind of do a good split. And then she has, what is this called? Thigh rotation. Double jointed knees, which work well. So it looks pretty good from the back as well, right? Feet, forwards and backwards. Rotate. And there is a toe hinge. So movements and everything on this girly, pretty solid. Nothing is loose or anything like that, probably because, so on Shion Moriyuki, her legs are a little bit loose, but that is not an issue here, probably because of the flocked material, makes it a little bit more sturdy. And I think everything besides her kind of thin front hair, side hair, whatever you want to call it, and then the ear, which I don't think I had plugged in properly because now it's still a little bit loose, but just make sure you plug it all the way in and then should be okay. So articulation, pretty average, but that's kind of not really what you want this girl for, right? She's not a super articulated girly or anything. And I don't know if you can hear the sirens outside. Is it like, are we not allowed to talk about furries here or something? Here are the instructions which tell you how to do stuff and things and do some swaps and some other stuff. Here's the stand base. Seductive Beast Fruit series. There are 2 stand arms, so just whichever one works. I think the shorter one makes more sense, so just kind of plug it in there. Or rather, it depends. So if you want her kind of in like, I don't know, maybe like a crouching pose or something, just shove it in there and then it'll hold up like that, I suppose. Otherwise, standing poses, this actually makes more sense. Don't really need to stand, I suppose. For faces, she has 4 total. By default, she has this just slight smile, neutral face. Details looking very nice, very cute. A little bit more detailed than Shion Moriyuki, which I like. This is what the hair joints look like, in case you're interested. And the face joint. So I have kind of discovered that the back of the faceplate is kind of a normal feeling plastic. And then the front is more of that really smooth, interesting material, and it's probably the paint coating. I don't know if you can see the texture on screen, but it does give it kind of an interesting, very smooth, soft feel. She's got a super cute winking tongue out expression, looking very nice. Paint apps and everything, also nice and neat. Next up, she's got whatever you want to call this face. It's kind of like a little drooly face, embarrassed, blushy maybe. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it also looks good. Finally, she has this confused, oopsie-daisy kind of face because she is a clumsy panda. Not sure which of the faces I like the most, but all of them pretty cute. Ranran has a few pairs of hands. By default, she's got these open hands where you can see her little paw pads. And these are quite interesting as well and will go into why that is in a little bit. That's what they look like from the back. She's got a pair of enclosed kind of fisty hands. I'm not quite sure because she's kind of got chubby fingers. So yeah, I guess they're kind of fisty hands, right? They're like enclosed fisty hands. Next up, she's got these pointy hands. Also nicely done. Nothing too fancy with them, but you can still make them out to be what they are. Finally, she has a pair of holdy hands, which she can just hold whatever will fit into the hole, which she has like one thing that fits there, I think. She has a mop. I guess it's nicely detailed, nothing too fancy. She has a plate. This is made of metal. She has an omurice dish, which is very cute, very nicely done. She's got a special drink. I guess bamboo, I don't know, or like avocado or something like that. Oh, what else is green? Apple juice maybe, I don't know. And she has whatever this is. This is custard pudding apparently. Also quite nicely done. All the food and dishes and stuff, they are not bad. Now something that is super cool about these is that they are magnetic. There you go, they're kind of stuck together. This does not seem to be magnetic, but her hands are also magnetic. So what you can do is plop it on there. Holds on pretty well, right? Not bad. And then what you can do is take a juice. Well, that doesn't quite work, does it? Okay. So it kind of holds on. We'll slide around a little bit, but it's not bad. However, what you can do is take this, put it onto her not other hand, I guess. Okay, what you can do is take this and give it to her other hand, like that, and then she will hold on to it. Of course, you can put it... I'm just clumsy. You can put it on her other hand. So she can hold stuff quite well, which is good. Of course, she can hold dishes like that as well. And you can put them onto the plate like so. Same thing with the omelette rice. She can hold on to it really well. Drink in other hand if you want. I would really like to see more action figures doing stuff like this because it just makes things so much easier. Of course, you can give her the plate, I'm actually so clumsy. Put the omelette rice onto there, and then she will hold on to it no problem. If you want, I guess, stack the pudding there as well. There you go. Very, very well done. Holds on pretty well. Ranran has two tails, so there is one with the peg hole, and there is one which is just a fluffy ball. Ranran has a maid dress, or rather a skirt thing. This is a very, very flexible rubber piece, so won't really get in the way of any articulation, which is good. To put it on, simply just remove her top half, and then plop it on like so, and then plug her back on, and that's what she looks like. She also has sleeve cuffs, also soft plastic. Simply pull off her hands, slot them on, and it'll look something like that. And here she is, fully geared up. Completely left this out, she also has a thigh strap kind of thing. And there is a magnet there as well. So actually on her left leg, it is magnetic. Around the inner thigh area as well. Okay, so here is what she actually looks like with everything on. Of course, we can take everything off as well. So how we do that is, first of all, take the skirt back off, and then cuffs. You can take the headdress off, pull the ears off like so, which is why sometimes they can be a little loose. Just pull it off, I think. Hopefully I don't break anything. Nope, they just come off just like that. So there's not really anything holding them on. Put her ears back on. That's what that looks like. And lastly, her collar thing. You can pull her head off just like that. Arms off. A little bit tight. Might want to give it a little bit of heat. Just smacked my mic there. Okay, so that wasn't too bad, and luckily the joint is nice and thick, nice and sturdy. So simply just take that off. There we go. So that is kind of what she looks like with her gear all off. Looks a little bit strange and plain and naked because I guess that's what she is. It's mainly because there's nothing around her neck, I think. And being a panda, I guess there should be a more balance of black and white around her face. But I think she still looks cute. What do you reckon? Are her accessories and articulation and stuff worth it or not really? Or is she too furry for you? Let me know. For height, Ranran is about 5 3/4 of an inch or just shy of 15 centimeters. I think her overall design and what she offers is pretty well balanced, even if she is more of a special kind of figure. Once again, you know, I'm not a furry, not into feet. It's okay if you are. But a good figure is a good figure, right? I think particularly cool are the magnets in her paws as well as the food and stuff. Super creative. Of course, she is also just straight up cute as hell. I'm looking forward to Keyaki's next figure. I believe it should be a goat girl. And there is a cat as well. Here is more furry and figure stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.